Welcome to another episode of Motivating Minds, the podcast. We hope you've enjoyed our first couple of episodes so far. We've really had a good time filming these things, and we really hope you're enjoying them as much as we are. But we're moving on to a new subject this week. We've been talking our first 6 or 7 episodes, however many we've done. We've been talking about praise and worship.
Yeah.
And we concluded that last week. This week, we're going to start a interesting subject, something that we have talked about, we have preached. Ever since our days of being youth pastors, we have talked about this. And we're going to talk today about your friends. I'm going to say that again. We're going to talk today about your friends.
Yes, we are.
Your friends or your inner circle of friends.
Yes, yes.
And this is something that we all have to stop sometimes and take a look at this particular subject. And it's a touchy subject because the last thing we want to do is say, well, you picking on my friends. And that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to motivate our mind where we stop and take a look. Sometimes I think we can get caught up in, what's the word I'm looking for? We can get caught up in just going with everyday life, and we have surrounded ourselves with people and allowed people into our inner circle that may not be the best thing for our circle.
That's right.
And we can get into this and we can allow these people in and into our personal. When I talk about friends, I'm talking about somebody that's into our personal, not so much into your personal business and in your personal life, but it's someone that you're close to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we can go on and, we can talk about our friends on our social media. We can talk about that. I have friends on my social media and on my social media accounts, but they're not like my friends' friends.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, they're on there too.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about a friend, someone that if my car is broke down, I'm going to pick up the phone and call.
Right.
What's the saying? A friend sticketh closer than a brother.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of friends I'm talking about.
That's right.
And so we're going to dive into this. And, I don't know how long this series will go, but we're going to touch on different subjects. And the first thing I want to talk about, I know we preached it seemed like every single Wednesday night when we were youth pastors. And those of you that was in our youth group that watched this, they'll know we always said, you are what you hang with. That was always a big subject, and that we taught the teenagers, and we would give them the example. If you stop and take a look at what your friends are, is who you are.
Yeah.
And that becomes a very big thing in our life with our friends. And it can be our church friends. It can be our friends. If you don't go to church and you watch this, it could be your friends, that's in your circle. Are they a good influence or are they a bad influence? That's something to take a look at. Does your friend influence you to do good?
Right.
You say, well, we're adults. My friends don't influence me. But when you're with your friends, what do?
Right.
You interrupt me whenever you're ready. I'm just talking. But this is what we're going to dive into, and we're going to talk about what our friends do. Do our friends encourage us to do bad things? You say, well, my friend don't encourage me to do, or are you, when you're with your friends, do you do bad things?
Right.
Do you do things that's not out of your character? That's not in your normal character.
Right.
This can be friends from work. This can be friends from church. This can be friends from just your everyday friends that you allow. We all have that family barbecue, or not family barbecue, but we have that barbecue where we invite our friends over. And we say, hey, I'm going to have some friends over, and we're going to throw some meat on the grill, and it's going to go down, But what is the topic of those conversations when you're with your friends? Think about that. What is our topic of conversation? Is it gossip? Do you spend all of your time talking about someone else?
Right.
Do you truly know that person? Do you truly know everything about the people that you allow into your most inner part of your circle?
Right.
Do you really know what they stand for? Do you know what their beliefs are? Do they believe the same way you believe? If if they're in your church circle, is their faith on the same level as your faith?
Right.
Are they on a different level than you are? Are they striving to get to the same level?
Right.
So go ahead and say something.
No, go ahead. I'm just listening.
But, we talk about, I heard somebody break this down one time. They use this instance as a tree. And as that tree has its main trunk, and then it moves out into the many branches, there comes a time, if you got an oak tree in your yard, we've got one out here in our front yard, there comes a time every year where I go out there and I'll prune that tree. I cut that tree, and it's not that the limbs are dead, but I cut off the limbs and I shape that tree.
Right.
Because I want that tree to do a certain thing. I want that tree to grow a certain way. There may be a limb that's growing all haywire, and I cut it off. It doesn't affect that oak tree, but it affects that way that oak tree grows.
Right.
Down here in Florida, we have all these orange groves. And they go in when the season's over, and they go in and they trim these orange trees, and they cut them back.
Right.
Because they want that orange tree to flourish and not to grow wild. So there comes a time, I believe, in our walk with God that we have to stop and take a look at who's surrounding us, who's in our circle. Because, the enemy can put people in our path that will make them think that they're for us, that thinks that they're in our corner. But they're out there to literally, they don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you elevate in your faith.
That's right.
They don't want to see you move ahead of them in your faith.
Right.
They don't want to see you move and prosper financially any more than what they are. And so those people can weight us down. And they can cause us to, to be pulled back.
Yeah.
And they can cause us not to progress what we need to do on our jobs, spiritually, financially, all because of who we are surrounded with.
Right.
I was just reading an article when studying for this, and it talks about your politicians and your presidents and your congressmen. They surround themselves with people that think and operate the way that they don't think like we think.
Yeah.
Those politicians and those men in office, I'm not going into all that, but they have a way they have to think, and they have to surround themselves. And if someone is not motivated in the way that they're going, they get rid of them.
Right.
As much as they may still be friends, but you're not going the same place I'm going.
Right.
You can jump in here whenever you want. I'm throwing out scenarios, and we're going to break this down. But main thing I want to talk about is our group of spiritual friends in this one. Our inner circle in our church. If you're a new convert, you can't hang with the old. You can't hang with the crowd you used to hang with. And I believe as Christians, I'm not saying that we have to shut the world off. But we have to be very choosy who we allow
Right.
in our circles.
Right.
I know me and you have a very tight circle.
Right.
You know, we have a very close circle of friends.
Yeah.
You know, that, you know, we have a lot of friends, but we have a very close, very small, and I don't say that being conceited, but yet we have friends. I've had friends that I've broke down on the side of the road in a different town, and I've called. Some have drove, picked us up, and took us to where we needed to go. Some has picked us up and brought us their vehicle.
Yeah.
Said, look, here's my vehicle, take it and drive it.
Right.
You know, and we have friends that we can, you know, that we can confide in, and we know when we confide in that person that it's not going nowhere else.
Right.
And that's a big subject right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big thing right there.
For sure.
When you get into that with your friends, that when you talk to them and you share stuff with them, where's it going?
Right.
Where's it going from when you voice that out to, you know, when you go to that lunch or that luncheon, or you go out to dinner together and you begin to share your heart? Where does it go when it leaves there? What happens when it leaves that restaurant
Right.
or that automobile ride?
Right.
And this is stuff that I want us to take a look at with our inner circle of friends. You know, Jesus only had 12 disciples.
Right.
You know, that was his inner circle. That was his men. Now, were they perfect? Absolutely not. We can break it down and talk about each one of them and find the flaws. But that was still the 12 that he chose to follow him.
Right.
And so go ahead and pick it up and give me your thoughts on what I've said.
I think you have to be, if you're following Christ,
Yes.
he's going to show you.
Yes.
I know we like to use a lot of the scriptures. You know, we use a lot of the wording of, well, you have to love everybody. Yes, you have to love everybody, but you can still be selective of who's in your inner circle.
That's right.
Because not everybody that says that they are for you are really for you.
That's exactly right.
And I think it's important to make sure, I think it's our responsibility to make sure that those people that we choose to be in our inner circle are like-minded.
Yes.
I mean, they don't have to think just like us. They don't have to be just like us. They don't have to look just like us. But they should follow pretty much the same as what we do, because we should be attracting people.
Yes.
You know, it's not, I should say not us, but our life that we live, you know, for Christ. I believe that we have been commissioned to share the gospel.
Yes.
We're not saying you just have your inner set of friends and shut everybody else out.
That's exactly
That's
right.
That's not what we're here promoting. But we're promoting that your inner circle will always your circle of people will always reflect who we are.
That's exactly right. This thing right here, this I've been studying, it says the people you surround yourself with influence your behaviors.
Yeah.
So choose your friends who have healthy habits.
Yeah. Right.
And that's very true.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and when we think about that, you know, and I'm just going to read a little bit what this, we often misunderstand the influence that people have in our lives.
Yeah. Because if you're not I know we're probably, I don't know, we didn't discuss what we were going to say tonight or what we weren't going to say.
We're unplanned.
It's kind of like just off the cuff. I mean, we pray about it and just come as with a subject and just allow God to lead.
Right.
But I think, you know, in that inner circle, like I said, not everybody that says they're for you is for you.
Right.
But you need a friend that's going to tell you you're out of line.
That's right.
You need a friend that's able to tell you you're getting off track.
Yes.
You need a friend that's going to be truthful to you and say, is everything okay because you're slacking?
Yes. Yes, that's right.
I don't need a friend that's going to agree with me and take my side on everything.
That's exactly right.
And that's what we classify friends as is, oh, my girl is she's going to side with me. She's going to take my side. She's going to, you know, when I say I'm mad at this person, well, now she's mad at this person. You know, if I say I'm mad at Susie, you know, my girl or those people in our inner circle is going to be like, well, I'm mad at Susie too. And so they're mad at Susie and when they don't even know why they're mad. Yep. So those people are just taking sides.
Right.
With you because they're in your inner circle, but we don't need that type of friend.
Right.
We can get that type of friend in the office where you work.
Yes. That's
or
right.
on Facebook.
That's right.
But you need to surround yourself with people. Now, we're not promoting don't have friends.
No, not at all.
I mean,
not at all.
But we are saying be selective who's in your inner circle because your inner circle will reflect, as you just said, will reflect who you are.
Yes.
It will affect your thoughts. It will affect your standards.
Yes.
It will affect your faith.
Yes.
It'll affect the way you see biblical things.
That's right.
Not saying that everybody has to agree with you on every single thing.
That's right.
But if I have somebody in my inner circle, and when I say inner circle, that means people that know you inside out.
Yes, that's right.
And those people that are in our inner circle, we don't need people that is going to, and I've already said it, that's going to side with us on everything.
That's right.
I need somebody to tell me, hey, Candy, you know, you had a bad attitude today.
Yes.
You know, or Candy, you know, we need to pray about this.
Yes.
You know, or, you know, if they're just, you know, just because if I come to them and complaining about something, now they've jumped on the bandwagon. That attitude can go from this group, this inner circle to another inner circle to before you know it, you got a whole church or a whole community that's at each other's throat and nobody even knows why.
That's right.
And so I think, you know, it's important to have, and I know you have mentors, you know, that may not start out on the same level, you know, it's not all on the same level, but you have mentors that will, you know, kind of disciple, mentor people under them. Yes. And bring them up to where they're at. And this is not elevating anybody.
Right.
At all. Because there's some people in our inner circle that are, you know, we're older than they are. Yes. So we've mentored them over the years, but it doesn't mean that we're any better. That's right. We need the type of friends that's going to say, Scott and Candy, I think you may be, you know, out of line.
That's right.
Scott and Candy, I think you may be, you know, you're getting down the wrong thoughts.
Yes.
You know, you're grumbling and complaining. I don't know, whatever it is. But you need somebody that's willing to speak truth to you.
That's right. That's right. And you know,
But let me say this before we go on, before we move past that, or I'll lose my thought. But what we don't want that. We don't want, in this society, we don't want people to tell us when we're out of line.
We want friends that will side with us. We
want people that's going to side with us. And that's who we create as our circle.
That's right.
We say, oh, my group, we're full of faith. We got a prayer team going. We got this going. We this and we that. We minister. We The problem is it's all we. But we gather groups of people,
That's
whether
right.
it's male, female, and all in the same group, married couples, let me put it this way, married couples in a group
Yes.
together, or if it's a group of women together or a group of men together, we want to gather those. We want our inner circle to be those that are going to side with us.
That's right.
We don't want people to, in our inner circle or close to us, that's going to tell us
That's right.
and speak truth to us.
That's right. But you know, this says you can tell a lot about a person by the company they keep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, we've seen it over and over and over and over. Someone all of a sudden starts hanging out with a new crowd,
Yeah.
and then you see that shift. I'm talking in the spiritual realm. You see that shift in them spiritually
Yeah.
because someone in that they're hanging with has a strong influence
Yeah.
over them.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, they're wanting you to be like them.
Yeah.
And that's what you were just talking about. You said, you know, there's, you know, we want to be accepted.
Right.
That's the thing with this society today. Everybody wants to be accepted.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be, you know, they want to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. You want to feel comfortable.
Right.
And the influence of others can be very powerful.
Yeah.
Can be very, very powerful on your outward being as well as your inner man.
Yeah. Yeah.
God may be trying to take you here,
Yeah.
but your friends may be trying to take you here.
Yeah.
God may tell you, I need you to do this, but your friends say you need to be doing this.
Yeah.
And then what that does is when all of that starts this turmoil in your head and things begin to happen, then you start a warring
Yeah.
between the spirit and the flesh.
Yeah.
And a lot of it can be caused by your inner circle.
Yeah. And then before we know it, if you're not careful, you don't know whether you're hearing the voice of God or you don't know whether you're hearing the voice of your friends,
That's right.
of their opinions.
That's right.
We don't need friends that are going to give us their opinions.
That's right.
Now, you know, we're not saying that you just walk around as like, oh, holier than thou, and you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, we all, you know, sit back and relax and have friends that we
yes.
have good relationships with. But we're just talking in this particular episode, I guess, we're just talking about in the spiritual realm.
Yes, that's right. In the spiritual realm. And that's what, you know, we have to, I know in our walk, it seems like God have us over the years taking people and mentoring, you know, doing a lot of mentorship. I know in my life, it seems like God is always placing, you know, younger men and under me in my life that has went through or is going through a lot of what I went through as a child.
Right.
But I'm able to minister to them. And, you know, I've taken some of them in, and we've had some that we've taken in that, you know, are no longer around.
Right.
But then we've got some that are very, very, very close to us still to this day. And, you know, they tell us we're like mom and dad
Right.
because we've mentored them. You say, well, we're not talking about mentorship, but but what is God calling you to do with, you know,
Yeah.
in your friendship,
Right.
you know, but yet we can still take, I said that to say we can still take them people that we've mentored. They're grown now. But yeah, we can still speak truth to them and there's no hard feelings.
Right. Right.
There's no hard feelings. And that's the thing, you know, we have several couples that we're very, very close with We have couples that we don't see for months at a time. But yet
Right.
when we get with them
Yeah.
and when we do see them, it's like we've been together every day.
Right.
And I'm not going to name names, but we have, several couples that are like this with us. They don't even live in the same town that we live in. But yet when we get together, all we talk about is, why are we not together more than what we are?
Right.
Because we feel that they influence us
Yeah.
spiritually. They pick us up. We've got, some friends of ours that now live out of state, but yet a little bit we see them. When we see them, we're picked up immediately,
Yeah.
but that's our friends,
Right.
but when we're talking about what's here at home, on the home front, it's a little, it's people you're with every day.
Yeah.
What are they, are they building you up or are they tearing you down?
Right.
Spiritually, are they giving you the scriptures? Or are they talking about the way church should be?
Right.
Are they talking about, let's have a prayer meeting? Or, you need to pray for Sister so-and-so over there. She's got some issues she needs to deal with.
Yeah.
That's the type of friends, in our circle we have to look at. What is that reflecting? What is our circle of friends say about us? We don't know. But there's been times in our lives that we've had to stop and look at that
Yeah.
and say, you know what? God's trying to take me and you somewhere,
Yeah.
but is everybody going where we're going?
Right.
There ain't nobody going where me and you were going.
Right.
And I don't mean that wrong. God has a plan for me and you.
Right.
And where God has taken us, there'll be some that goes there with us, but then there'll be some that falls off the wayside.
Yeah.
But not everybody that God puts in our path is going where we're going,
Yeah.
because their path is not headed to the same direction we are.
And same way, vice versa. Some of our friends or in our inner circle, God's not taking us where He's taking them.
That's exactly right.
And so I think it's easy to gain friends when you're not speaking truth
That's right.
or they're not speaking truth to you.
That's right.
I've had instances in the past that when you try to speak truth, the friendship starts dwindling.
That's right.
Why? Because they don't want to hear truth.
That's right.
Our flesh wants to hear, oh, I need you to side with me.
Yes.
I need you to see how bad this is, and I need you to get down in the mud with me and say, oh, how bad I've got it, or how bad it's gonna be, or how this or how that. But no, I need a friend that's gonna say, Candy, you need to snap out of it.
Yes.
You need to snap out of this.
Yes.
I need a friend that's gonna minister to me and speak scripture to me.
Yes.
And vice versa.
That's right. And this is the thing, when you're called, if you're called into the ministry, is your friends that surround you understand the ministry you're called into?
Yeah.
Not that you have to tell them.
Yeah.
Are they for, are they, like, that's why I said, are they going the same place you're going? And like I said, we're probably going to be on this a couple of weeks because we're going to dig deeper into it. We're just putting a lot of questions out there tonight. We're not giving a whole lot of answers. We're going to get your minds going. And then next week, we're going to dig into some of these subjects.
Right.
Does that sound like a plan to you?
Sure.
So we're going to dig into this, but what I want us to look at and think about, I'm going to give us a lot of stuff to think about this week, is if you're going, I'm going to use the ministry first, whether you are a called minister, teacher, youth pastor, leader, worship leader, anything in the ministry, on the ministry side, is your friends understand what your calling is. You say, well, maybe I need to sit them down. No, that's not what I'm saying. Do they truly understand your calling may be to do nothing but minister at the altar?
Right.
Do your friends understand what that calling is?
Right.
Are they influencing you one way or the other?
Friends those people that, especially those that are in your inner circle, they should be an encourager to you.
Yes.
And vice versa.
That's right.
Not the woe is me, get on the bandwagon.
Yes.
But to encourage you. Like, yeah, you may be going through a rough time.
Yes.
But God will make a way when there is no way.
That's right. That's exactly
Or,
right.
God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we could ever ask or think.
Yes.
Encourager.
Yes.
We have friends that, that we are, that may be in our offices where we work.
Yes.
That may be, that we know from school, that we, some people have 500, 1,000 friends, so-called friends on Facebook, but only know about 20 of them.
Yep.
I'm not talking about those kind of friends.
Yes.
We're talking about friends that are in your inner circle.
Yes.
Are you all trying to get to the same place?
That's right. That's exactly right.
Are you all,
We're talking spiritually.
spiritually, yes. Not trying to beat each other and climb up the corporate ladder.
That's
not what I'm
exactly-
talking
that's not what we're talking
That's
about.
not what we're talking about in this one. That's a whole nother episode. But we encourage you, your friends in that inner circle, they're shouting for you when you've been blessed financially.
That's right.
They're shouting with you, I should say. They're shouting with you when God blesses you and your family.
Yes.
They're shouting with you when you've been healed.
Yes.
And when you are waiting on your healing, that inner circle is praying for you. And you know that they have enough faith
Yes.
because their life has produced it.
That's right.
The evidence. Now, am I saying if they don't support you, if they don't, do you get rid of them, throw them out of your circle? That's what we're not saying that. You have to choose your friends wisely.
That's right. And I have friends in my life that I talk to every day. Then I have friends in my life that I talk to every couple months or a couple 4 or 5 times a year. But they can walk up to me, and when I say they're friends, I'm talking spiritually. We're going this episode's going to be on the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
They can walk up to me, hug my neck, and can speak a word into my life.
Right.
And not have to worry about me being offended.
Right.
I've got one brother in particular, except I'm not going to call no names. He don't even live nowhere near me. And me and this brother don't see each other but maybe a couple times a year. We're always excited when we see each other. But that brother can come up and hug my neck, and God has always, always, always given that brother a word. Anytime we've ever been together, we're together 2 or 3, 4 days at a time at conventions and stuff like that. He's always got something that God gives him that speaks to my heart. And I'm telling you, this brother has spoke to me, and God has allowed this friend to minister to me in times and about things that nobody knew about.
And
in
on
my
the
life.
reverse side, You know him well enough to know that when he speaks the word, you know
right.
it's not his opinion that he's speaking.
That's exactly right.
You know that it is a word straight from God.
It's a word straight from God. And I've never had to, there's been times that I've tried to, and I've told the brother, I said, look, I want you to know what you've said. And it's from God because this is why.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I've learned through the years, God's put people in my life. I've encountered people that God has said, I've connected you with that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we may not have nothing in common.
Right.
Not one single thing in common as far as being friends. I got friends that like to shoot guns, and I don't know nothing about guns. I know what a gun is. But when God connects you with that person spiritually, it doesn't, to me, that's different than God connecting you with just a friend, somebody to hang out with.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, we have to be very, very careful. I've had people that I've connected myself with
Yeah.
through different scenarios.
Yeah.
I can just tell you for this from experience that I learned was not in my corner.
Yeah.
That was there to do more harm.
Yeah.
Not that they were intentionally doing it, but they were doing me more harm than they were good.
Right.
The Bible tells us a friend sticketh closer than a brother. Me and you both have brothers. You have a brother and I have a brother.
Right.
Are they perfect? We're not perfect. But I look at you and your brother, and me and you've talked about this. You and your brother don't swap words.
No.
Me and my brother don't swap words. We may not always agree on every single thing.
Right.
And yours is a little bit different scenario. You work for your brother. Mm-hmm. But you know what? You're still able to tell each other, look, I think you need to do this, or I think you need to do that. And there's the utmost respect for each other.
Right.
Me and my brother the same way. We don't always agree what each other do. We never put each other down.
Right.
But we're always there to lift each other up.
Right.
And the same thing, and I say that to say your friends should do the same thing.
Right.
Now, not everybody has that relationship with their siblings. And, I'm not saying that ours are the greatest. I wish I got to spend more time with my brother than what I do. But, God has it this way for a reason.
Yeah.
He lives in another part of the state than what I do, but we enjoy what time we get together. But our friends spiritually should motivate us.
Yeah.
They should get us to the point, are they motivating us towards God, or are they motivating us to do other things?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, we've said a lot tonight. We're going to wrap this up for tonight. I know we've thrown a lot of stuff out. You said, well, you ain't offered us any solutions. We're going to make this. I thought we'd do this in one episode, but there's no way to do this in one episode.
No, not at all.
And we're going to continue to talk about this, and we're going to continue to dive into this. This is just something to get your mind motivated. Mm-hmm. I never realized when God gave me this title that I would use that so much.
Right.
But that's what we are here for, and we talk about this every week, to motivate us and to get our minds to thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
But I want to encourage you this week to be thinking about this, and we're going to open up, I don't know what subject we're going to next week, but we're going to dig into this inner circle.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this. We're going to, I know one thing I feel God's leading me on, and just to give you a little heads up, we're going to talk about, are your friends helping you discipleship? I've done a whole series on this in our church, and we really liked it. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. Teach it to myself, as I say. But we're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
But again, you got anything before we go?
Well, I just want to say, I know it feels like we're probably all over the board tonight on friendship, and you may be in that camp that says, I don't need any friends. But everybody longs to have a friend. And, you know, you may be one that says, all I need is Jesus. I'm happy with Jesus, just me and Jesus. Well, that's fine if that's you. But we all have an inner circle that we are with.
That's right.
As Scott said when we started this episode, back when we taught, when we were the youth pastors some years back, I believe it seems like, and even a lot of the kids that we taught were in our group back then. I think every service, it didn't matter what the topic was. I mean, you could ask them right now and they not even know what we're saying. And in this episode, and you could call them up or text them and ask them, and they would say everything always went back to, you are who you hang with.
That's exactly right.
You are who you hang with.
That's right. You become who you hang with.
Yeah. And you know, and I would say that, and I used to tell them, show me who your friends are, and I know what you are like.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Because we're so influenced, and we're not going to get into it. And so I apologize if we are all over the board tonight. So there's just so many different directions.
So many different directions, and we're just throwing the thoughts out there.
Yeah.
You know, stuff to get us thinking about. And like I said, we're going to dive into these subjects, you know, in the upcoming weeks. And we've got some stuff. I've got some stuff I'm working on. You know, we're going to have some guests. You know, I'm already got that in the works, and you're going to really enjoy this once God puts the plan together and it all comes about. So again, we thank you for watching. And we ask that you subscribe, like it, leave your comments. Let us know what you think. We don't care if it's good or bad. We can take it.
Yeah.
But again, we thank you. We're here to motivate your mind.
And hang with us.
Hang with us. That's right. And we'll see you again next week.
Yes.
Be blessed.
Amen.